I'm Coco! In this video, I like to look at forgotten or abandoned plot ideas in Naruto. Considering the long run of Naruto series, it is understandable that the author Kishimoto could not explore some plots for various reasons. But that left some of us wondering, what happened to the idea after all? Isn't that plot left hanging? So let's look back at the details of the scene and check what the forgotten plot was. Sakura's Genjutsu type potential. This forgotten plot is famous among fans. Despite Kakashi telling Sakura that she had a talent for Genjutsu, she was never depicted using them. In the second part of the story, when Sakura was being trained under Tsunade, Kakashi brought up the plot again. He said Sakura has medical ninjutsu combined with monstrous strength. No, it's more than that. After all, she's more of a Genjutsu type. But this plot was abandoned till the end. After all, Sakura has plenty of weapons besides her Genjutsu potential, and the Genjutsu type in Team 7 is obviously Sasuke. Actually, the Genjutsu types of Konoha were only Uchiha clans and Kurenai. Sakura's potential might have bloomed if she was assigned to Kurenai's team. Anyway, Sakura's Genjutsu type plot was probably abandoned because there would have been two Genjutsu types in Team 7, making the story too complicated. Shisui aka Shisui the Transporter. The Koto Amatsukami used by Shisui Uchiha is known as one of the most powerful Mangekyo Sharingan used by the Uchiha clan. His dojutsu was so powerful that his other name, Shisui the Transporter, kind of grew hazy. There were so many foreshadowings that indicated Shisui's power for speed, such as this name which was well known in other villages too. But in the actual story, Shisui died so abruptly. Speaking of transportation techniques, Hiraishi no Jutsu comes to mind. This jutsu was used by the second Hokage Tobirama and the fourth Hokage Minato. I wonder if Shisui was also using transportation ninjutsu, because he could move so fast that even the sensory type Anbu could miss him. Maybe his speed was just too fast and his abilities would have made the story too complicated. And Shisui died before he could play an active role in the story, so the plot was just probably left hanging. It's a shame that Shisui's battle scenes weren't depicted so much in the story. If he was alive and involved in the main story, he might have ranked in one of the most popular members among fans. Jiraiya. Don't use that jutsu. What jutsu did Jiraiya refer to when he warned Naruto not to use? The Nine Tails transformation? An advanced version of Rasengan? Or probably the harem jutsu? Some ideas come to mind, but the truth of Naruto's jutsu that must not be named remains unknown. Do you remember that Orochimaru said something similar to Sasuke in the reunion episode? When Sasuke was about to finish off the remaining Team 7 members, Orochimaru stopped him and said, "Don't bother with that jutsu, Sasuke." Isn't the word "don't use" so tempting? Naruto and Sasuke were so obedient to listen to their masters. Anyway, the foreshadowing of that jutsu, which Naruto was told by Jiraiya, was left hanging. Sasuke's jutsu might have been the Kirin, but the truth remains unknown. The whereabouts of Daedaras Arms. Deidara lost his left arm with Gaara's Sabakukyu and his right arm with Kakashi's Mangekyo Sharingan. But later, Kakuzu helped Deidara cure his arms and put them back into place. Do you remember the scene that depicts Deidara searching for his right arm after the battle? Tobi was with him and he was the one who found Deidara's arm. This indicates that Tobi was able to reach Kakashi's Kamui dimension and pick up the arm. Some readers pointed out that this subtle scene was a foreshadowing of the story that was to be revealed later. It's not until much later that we find out that Kakashi and Tobi's Kamui dimension is connected. So it's not clear if Kishimoto intended to give out hints at this point. As for Deidara's left arm, it was completely crushed by Gaara, so how did he get it back? It remains a mystery. Did he use white Zetsu or Hashirama cells to help it regrow? The details are unrevealed. Why did Deidara's restored arm still possesses a mouth on the palm so he could use explosive clay? How were Deidara's arm restored? Does Deidara have a unique body structure? Did Kakuzu use medical treatment techniques? I wish these ideas were further explored in the story. The jutsu given to Sasuke by Hashirama. In the 4th Shinobi War, Madara fully resurrected himself. Hashirama was left immobile, but saw Sasuke heading to Madara and gave him a jutsu so Sasuke could beat him. Hashirama said, "Madara has stolen my Sage Jutsu chakra. This is a jutsu to counter Madara's Sage mode." He trusted Sasuke and gave him what was left of his chakra so that Sasuke could stop Madara's plans. However, Sasuke did not use the jutsu after all. Sasuke awakened the Rinnegan and no longer needed the power Hashirama gave him. Therefore, the plot about Sasuke and his potential jutsu to counter Madara was abandoned. What kind of power do you think it was? I'm curious. Hashirama seemed very weak when he passed on everything to Sasuke. Tenten using the treasured tools of the Sage of Six Paths. During the 4th Shinobi War, Tenten found the Bashosen, one of the lost treasured tools of the Sage of Six Paths. After watching this scene, I think everyone anticipated Tenten's great battle scenes. At this point of the story, everyone was battling for the sake of Neji's death, and at last, it was Tenten's turn to get the spotlight. She did put a nice fight against Kakuzu, but soon it was already time to fall for the infinite Tsukuyomi. Tenten lost her spotlight and her opportunity to ever use the legendary treasure again. It kinda made me cry to see how poorly Tenten was treated till the end. Well, if Tenten really managed to use the treasures, there might have been an unexpected upset in the battlefield. So that's why the plan was probably abandoned. Most of the Uchiha clan were not summoned by Edo Tensei. During the 4th Shinobi War, many legendary shinobi were summoned by Edo Tensei. The previous Kages from the 5 nations and other talented shinobis such as Itachi Uchiha were also reanimated. I expected other members of Uchiha clan to resurrect, but actually no one other than Madara and Itachi showed up. I mean, many fans would have loved to see the battle scenes of other Uchiha members, especially the abilities of Izuna Uchiha, Fugaku Uchiha, Shisui Uchiha are already familiar in the story, so if they were reanimated, they might have played an interesting role. Izuna didn't appear much in the story, but he is a popular founding member of Konoha, and it must have been more thrilling to see him working beside Madara as brothers. After Itachi destroyed the Uchiha clan, Danzo retrieved their Sharingan and kept it as his collection. But there were no specific descriptions of how he disposed of their bodies. Maybe he disposed of their bodies in such a way that even Kabuto could not find their DNA to use for reanimating. Danzo may have known how the reanimation jutsu worked since he was close to Orochimaru. The Uchiha clans was a threat to the village, so we can assume that their bodies were disposed of at a level where their DNA could not be collected. In any case, this is only my imagination because the idea was never revealed in the story. Conclusion. How did you find this video on forgotten plot ideas? As Naruto's story reaches the episode of the 4th Shinobi War, the story develops at an incredibly fast speed that we can be confused with many plot ideas. If you know any other plots in the story that are forgotten or abandoned, please comment and share your ideas with me.